I want an experience of health that is not transactional. I want an experience of health that is simply asking and receiving without any effort, without any proving. An experience of health that is not an exchange, that's not a trade, where if I give something, if I trade in my hours, my effort, or the thing that time and effort gets me in the form of money, then I am allowed. Then, and only then, I am entitled to an experience of health in this physical form. I want my experience of the vitality of my being to be reflected in physical. I do. I want that. I want the experience of health and vitality in this physical form to reflect the natural effortlessness with which what I truly am experiences that. I want what many would call impossible. And it occurs to me more and more that this is something that actually feels like a calling to me. In a world where I feel called mostly to just exist and to be myself, this little piece of that, this asking for that which everybody is asking for, but maybe is afraid to admit, because it is a brazen asking, it is a bold and brazen asking to receive what is wanted just because it's wanted. And to own that desire and to say, yes, I want this, and yes, I am worthy of this. Yes, I do deserve this. And to know it in a way that is knowing, that is not believing, that is not convincing, that is not proving, that is not demonstrating why. Because that's the transactional method. Why are you worthy? Explain it to me, justify it to me, prove it to me. Do something to demonstrate your worthiness of this. And in that way, we're shamed out of even having the desire. We're shamed out of wanting something for nothing. Because it just doesn't work that way, right? You can't just receive. Are you crazy? You can't just receive because you want it. You can't just have it because you want it. Says the mind and the society mind created. That's ludicrous. What kind of selfish, entitled person do you think you are? failing to realize that that which is being asked for, that this desire which is being honored and expressed earnestly, is not something that requires anything from anyone else. See, that's just it. I'm not asking anyone else to give to me. I'm asking of myself. I am asking of the universe, which is the rest of me. I am asking myself to do something which is fully within my own power, and which has not only no negative effect on anyone or anything else, but potentially the benefit of demonstrating the possibility of this, opening this avenue. Oh, you mean I too can ask and receive for nothing, with no effort? I too can admit that what I want is to experience health, is to feel healthy and experience vitality, the vitality that I know is true of my being, and I want to experience that vitality, which I know is effortless and natural and continuous for my being in the physical form. I want that vitality to flow through and be manifest in my experience of the physical form, and I want that, period, point blank, with no trade as a part of this process. I want to experience health in a way that is not transactional and not conditional. And I know that what that means is I must become that. I must become that for myself. I must allow that for myself. I am both parts of this equation. I am the asking, I am the knowing, I am the answering, the becoming, the delivering, and the receiving. I am asking for the experience of health that is unearned. The experience of health that simply is, that is a given. Because that is the quality of my worth. I am not worthy because of something. I am worthy. If it's because of anything, it's because I am. And in this same way, we learn to love ourselves unconditionally. It starts with this asking. It starts with the deep discomfort of the contradictory state that is knowing, the deep knowing of your belovedness, and the perception of its absence in the world around you. And the space between that, I would call longing. And in the experience of this intense longing of knowing this is what I want, and I want it because it's true. I know, I can feel the rightness of my desire. I can feel that this desire is in me because this exists. This is pointing to something. This is pointing to the truth of what is. And I am not wrong in asking. I feel the rightness of my ask in knowing I would not have this desire if it were not right for it to be fulfilled. And this is a deep desire. This is not some frivolous surface level I'd like an ice cream today. Not that that is any less worthy, but this one is strong. This one has potency. This desire has megatons of power behind it. And it takes that moment to spark. First it builds up, and then it takes that moment of external contradiction of someone saying, well, that's just not possible. For this uproar to occur, this internal alighting that you feel, and it is a righteous fury, but it is not directed at anyone. It's not an anger with anyone. It's just this intensity, this passion that says, that's not true. Do not try to tell me something that is not true and that I know is not true. Not possible. Not possible. The existence of my desire is the demonstration, is the evidence of its possibility. More than that, it's more than possible. It already is. It exists. The last time I felt this kind of feeling, I was in a park speaking to a therapist shortly before starting this channel. And I was talking about love, and I was talking about myself being love, much in the same way that I have been feeling and expressing myself as being vitality. And I was expressing to her what it was that I wanted. A divine connection. I used words that I had never heard before. They just came out. Mutual reciprocity, absolute, easy, effortless. To love and be loved in such a way that it simply was. And that it grew. It didn't entropy. It fed itself. In my loving, I was sustained, and in receiving this love, the other was. And in both of us sharing in this, we grew together in love. A love that snowballs, a love that escalates, that only gets bigger. A love that is truly unconditional, that simply is the natural, effortless, easy delighting in the existence of the self and the other. And she said she didn't think people were capable of that. And that set me off. Because I knew. I knew. If I can feel this, then it's possible. Around 2 weeks later, I met the woman who is now my wife. And although I didn't understand it, I didn't know when we met what would take place, I loved her immediately, and I knew that. I loved her the moment I heard her laugh. And I didn't understand it, and it took quite some time to explore it and really actually to realize that I loved this person completely. That is to say, without boundary. I couldn't find an edge to this love. I loved her existence the moment we met. And that has continued to grow. But we didn't get together until some other important things happened, because we were on this journey simultaneously, of self-discovery and self-love, acceptance, which is not a journey that ends, by the way, because there is no end to love. There is always more of yourself. There is more of being to discover, and in discovering it, more of it to love. Feeling the desire to discover more. And many important things happened in that time. And there was deep longing experienced. And a critical point that I would say, probably not the only one, but the turning point that felt like for me internally was the recognition of becoming love for myself, becoming this love, feeling this love for myself that I desired to experience out here. And holding both together, giving myself the experience of unconditional love, of flowing that to myself as my being and receiving it, and feeling the desire to experience that in the physical world. Not casting that off, actually finding this place, this sweet spot where I was actively experiencing it in the present tense. In love. Loving and being loved. And fully sustained in that, really fully fulfilled in that. And not like needing anything else to feel good in that way, but also wanting it. And knowing that it was just a matter of time. Really. Knowing that. And not a lot of time. Although time seemed insignificant at that point. It was just this settling in and this knowing. Yeah. I know this is real. I don't need it because I'm enjoying this. I don't need anything, actually. I can just feel good on purpose. I can just give love to myself. I can make eye contact with the conscious being that is all around me, and I can love it and feel that love given to me in a way that is very real and very alive and very deliberate. And that feels so good. And I just know that this also shows up, and it's just a matter of time. And that's great. And I feel excited about that. I'm excited to see it show up. And then it did. And it was another roughly 2 weeks from that moment of feeling that the woman who is now my wife, the day after her birthday, confessed that she had feelings for me. And I expressed the same. And this feels like that. This feels like that. In a world where few people actually believe in unconditional love, because they say it's just not possible to be one who not only believes in it, but knows it. Because being in the presence of my being, it's obvious. That's what that is. That's what I am. And that's what I said on that day in the park, too. I said, I am love. Shit, I gotta run inside. I'll be right back. Okay. Saying that I am love, knowing that I am love, knowing that I am love and the experience of my own love is proof that another must experience that. And in this instance, it is knowing my vitality, knowing my well-being, knowing my health that is natural and endless and effortless. And knowing that I do want that experience in this physical form, and that it is possible, and I get to have it. I get to have that experience in this form, and I get to have it for free. Which is to say, all I do is be the vitality that I am, become that vibrant, glowing vitality, which is my nature, and know that this form gets to experience that. I get to ask for that. And it gets to be so just because it's asked for, because it's natural, because it's obvious, without any arguing for it, exchanging for it, without any of this proving that I'm worthy of it. Just knowing. I should have the experience of effortless vitality. And in making that statement, I am making that statement for all of being. It's not just me. It's not just Allie that should have this experience. It is being. It is us. It is we. Yes, it is right to ask for the experience of the truth of ourself and our nature to be manifest in the physical form. Every detail of that. That's what we're doing. We are making heaven real. Physical. We are manifesting it. It's not that it isn't real, in fact, it's a deeper reality that is eternal and untouchable. But by lining things up, we are bringing that to life in this world of form that is so much more intense. So much more nuanced. We are crafting the dream to match reality by focusing into that deeper reality, which many would just call the dream, when it is in fact the source, the foundation space. And drawing upon the inspiration of this reality, that is again called dream, we are bringing that desire by knowledge of what truly is into this, the dream, and shaping it by our desire, shaping it by our knowledge. They are one and the same, aren't they? It is just a matter of experiencing the truth of being now. This part is important, but it's brief. I'm seeing this is how the contrast helps us define, helps us have clarity on what it is that we're asking for, truly asking for. And then we get to ask powerfully and clearly, and by our powerful asking and seeing with greater clarity and focus than we ever have what it is that is wanted, we get to then hold our focus upon that place, this revelation of what is wanted, knowing that it is right to want it, and knowing that it is so. Knowing that we want it because we know it. We want it because we know it as true. We want this world to match what we know is true. We want it to reflect truth. The truth of this deeper reality that we are in greater and greater contact with, greater awareness of. And then trusting that. That's key. Trusting that this is true. Trusting that it doesn't matter how impossible the mind says it is or how many times it says that. Your mind, other minds. Trusting this desire and the knowledge that that desire is pointing to, of the truth of this, the truth of what is wanted. That desire and its intensity is the evidence of its existence, of its veracity. Trusting that, feeling gratitude, knowing that then, now, it is only a matter of time. Now it's done. It's done. You asked, you saw it. It's done. It's just a matter of time now. And not decades, not a very long time. Just enough. Enough time for you to maybe forget about it a little bit. And then for it to show up. But not forget about it so completely that when it shows up, you're like, what's going on? It shows up and you go, oh my God, this is that. Yes, what I asked for is here. And I knew it was here. And I've already experienced this gratitude. And now it's just happening in a more intense way. And to spend some time dwelling in that gratitude too, as much as feels good, as much as feels comfortable. Again, the asking, the knowing that what the desire is evidence of the truth of that which is desired. Trusting this, holding this up above all else. feeling the gratitude for its imminence, the imminence of the physical arrival of that. And then just gently letting it go and sinking into, returning to the trust of being. No more thought is required. Nothing else is needed here. You don't need to visualize it more. You don't need to affirm. In fact, let it go. Stop thinking altogether. Stop thinking altogether. Return to this place where you give up understanding, you give up trying. All of the energy was moved in that moment, that very natural moment of emotional, driven expression. There's nothing else. That was the dream. You received it. And in the receiving, you asked. And in the asking, you received the vision of its arrival and you felt it. Now just rest. Rest in trust. Let yourself be. It is finished. There is nothing to understand. There is nothing to do. You can feel the satisfaction and the gratitude of the completion of this, of the totality of your being, the absolute completion and wholeness of your being, that this is now. You can relish in the experience of this now. Because you've asked for the physical manifestation of this. Now you can rest fully, content, relaxed in your deep, immediate experiential knowledge that is present in being. Be there. That's it. That's what we're doing. And that's what I'm asking. This one is for health. This one is for the experience of effortless vitality that is sustained and unconditional. Others would call that impossible. I know it's not only possible, it already is. We are here to make real the stuff that others would call miraculous. Not for any purpose other than the fun of it. Because we want to. Because it's fun and we choose to and we can. And it is so natural and obvious to us. Now that's pretty fucking cool. Trust. This is ours. I love you. Take it easy.